This video is to show my ZoneMinder IP camera setup. I had a video last week that showed basically all the wiring I've done. It's pretty much complete this closet for the most part, at least for its current setup. I don't have any planned upgrades from now on. Basically, I showed in another video what I did, but I basically just put in a dedicated circuit to here, so everything is now enclosed in the closet and the wires coming under, and the cable comes in over there. USB actually goes over to a printer. Not really that important, but the important stuff is all the Ethernet come in that bundle on the left, and the power comes in on that socket on the right. So yeah, I just ran a circuit to this closet and added a breaker. So let me show. We're gonna basically go over everything related to my ZoneMinder setup. This connects to the 4 IP cameras I have installed right now. They're mounted throughout my house. I'll go show them real quick, just an overview, and then I'll also show my software setup for them. Basically, it's a regular gigabit switch. They actually, if you can see there, you can't really tell, but these aren't connected by gigabit because this right here is orange, but you can't tell in the video. These 4 are actually using 100 megabit. That's just how most IP cameras aren't gigabit, unless they're probably like the super expensive kind that they use in like parking lots and stuff. These were fairly cheap, $80 cameras, but they're still pretty good quality. They're 3 megapixel. I got Hikvision cameras. They're in the US, they're rebranded as I think Lorex and Swan. So you can buy them in the US as Lorex and Swan, but you can also buy them on eBay as Hikvision. So basically these 5 are the gigabit connections. They're actually running 100 megabit. Goes to this power over Ethernet injector. These 4 go out to my IP cameras, which are connected here. I bought all these cables. In my last video I said I was going to make them. I tried doing that. It was wasting my time, and spent $15 and got the cables the right size, and these are probably a better connection than what I would have made because I don't have the little part to keep it from getting pulled on as much. So yeah, I bought these yellow to kind of show they're powered. This is yellow, but this just goes to my FreeNAS probably. Not powered, so I might need to change the cable color there. So this goes out to the cameras, which I'm gonna go show, but let me just show how the software, where it's running. This is my pfSense router. It doesn't really do anything for this ZoneMinder, except it does do the SSL. It has a HAP proxy, which does all the SSL for basically all the programs I run externally. This is the web server where the majority of ZoneMinder runs. The web server is Nginx running on the host, which connects to all my different services. ZoneMinder runs in a jail, just like all my other PHP programs I run. So it has its own jail where it runs ZoneMinder, and it's daemon, the thing that pulls all the stuff from the camera and analyzes it. And then there's another jail that is the MySQL server for all those programs. So yeah, that's pretty much all running on here. Maybe later in this video I'll show like the load on my system, and everything is stored on my FreeNAS. So all the events that this records are stored on this. Is my FreeNAS. It has 16 terabytes of usable space. Eventually might upgrade it, but it's been running well for now. That's just the UPS. Okay. That's pretty much all I got to show there. This closet locks, so actually I might start locking it. Might as well. Okay, I'm gonna show my 4 cameras. I got these each for about $80. Alright, so that's my front door camera. I had it higher. I decided to remount it a little bit lower. I made that hole too darn big because I made it, the way the camera is, it has this little waterproof thing, so the Ethernet connection can be literally outside. In this case, it's actually inside my attic, so I could have just kind of covered that hole. I could have made the hole smaller and done the connection on the outside. So I kind of regret the way I drilled that hole because it's too big now, but I might find like a grommet or some type of cover for it. So yeah, that's basically that one. I got a security light that I a friend helped me install before I knew as much about high voltage wiring. And then there's not high voltage, but just regular 120 volt wiring. There's my second one. It's a dome, not a dome, but it's like a turret camera. The problem with dome cameras is the glass is curved, so the picture quality is never that good. There you can see my other camera. It's another bullet camera. That one actually has a 12 millimeter lens, so it's more zoomed in, and you'll see when I show the actual setup, when I actually show the ZoneMinder interface, that the image there is much more zoomed in, which actually works in that particular spot because it gets the fence perfectly, and it's farther away, so it's not super zoomed in. It has a good angle. That light's on a timer that I have installed over there. All right, and here's my last camera. You can see it right there. It's another turret, and that basically is to cover people entering this door. All these cameras have infrared, though. If you have external lighting, that's always going to be better. Usually, I mean, just depending on the position, but okay. Uh-oh. Don't tell me I gotta log in again. Alright, so here's my ZoneMinder setup. I deleted all my stuff because I've been tweaking like the different buffers and things you can tweak in ZoneMinder, FPS and all those things. So sorry if you can't see the computer screen well. So here's a live view of that front camera. These are 3 megapixel cameras, so they're about 2,000 pixels long. This camera is actually sideways, so you get a longer image, which works for kind of like hallway type images where you want to have more time on their face. These cameras work much better in the daytime, so at night they still do work, and you can get a face, but in the daytime they work really well. Unfortunately, I deleted all my film from earlier today as I'm just testing. I didn't want hundreds of different events, or at least dozens of the events in the way, as I was trying different iterations of the settings. But I'll show, it would have captured something as I was walking around. So that's the one in the front, here's the one in the garage. I can kind of see the car, and if anyone tries to mess with the car or just walks in, there's the gate one, the one that has the 12 millimeter lens. The other ones are, the front and the garage one are 4 millimeter lenses, which is like the standard you would normally get. 12 millimeter, just much thinner angle and more zoomed in, so you get a better view of a smaller area. This basically would cover anybody walking down this choke point or going into the garage. And then here's the back one. This one's actually a 2.8 millimeter, so it can cover pretty much almost 90 degrees. The main thing I'm trying to focus on is here. I was thinking of mounting it here, but I couldn't get a good image if someone like turned this corner tight. So this kind of catches anybody going towards this door for the most part. So that's them. Okay, now let me talk about my setup. You can do a montage, actually. Yeah, let me talk about my setup a little bit more. Those are the 3 megapixel versions of those images. These cameras have a high quality and a low quality stream. I did a low quality stream using MJPEG, which is easier for ZoneMinder to analyze because it just pulls the JPEGs from the stream instead of having to decode them. So then these are like the low definition versions. I did the lowest resolution that kept the same aspect ratio on these cameras. And then this is what ZoneMinder is actually using to analyze. So if you look at my processes on my web server, which I'll show in a minute, the ZMA, which is the ZoneMinder analyzer, isn't really using any CPU. For the most part, it's just the ZMC, which is the capture daemon, which are taking all these large images and capturing them to disk or to the buffer. I think because it has to decode the H.264 streams, these are, and then make them JPEGs. But the analyzing really isn't taking much CPU because it's just basically analyzing this I also have zone set up, so it's not like the full image, it's just areas that I believe need to be triggered. Like for example, here, like on the front one, I'm not triggering out on this walkway, right, on the sidewalk right here, but anything past the sidewalk triggers an alarm. Okay, so that's that. Let's see at the events. Let's see, like the most recent one. These are gonna be me right now. There's me shirtless, walking around with my phone. Yeah, oh wait, that's the same one. That's me filming the camera earlier, so it's kind of like Inception because you see me earlier. So that's that. This, oh, that was actually an event, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's me filming it earlier. So these are all from right now because I deleted all my events, like I said. So what it does actually have these for the HD versions of it linked to the low MJPEG one. So if these trigger an event, it actually just records on here, but it doesn't have to analyze the larger image. So that's basically my ZoneMinder setup. I'll show a montage. And these images are actually larger than what my monitor would show. So you can export the image and then just look at the full resolution. So you can see here the resolution is way too large because that's an actual scale. So I normally put it like 1/3 scale if I'm gonna watch them all. But there you go, that's kind of the overall look you could watch. So that's that. Let me just see if this has any good captures. Probably just me turning on the light, yeah. And sticking my camera out there. Okay, cool. The image quality doesn't look great because it's nighttime. If you see the daytime one, it's pretty good. You can zoom in and get a pretty good image of someone's face. Let me log into my web server. Okay. You can see my skills on my web server. I always use it a lot because I have my what is it called? My NZB indexer. My NZB indexer running, so it's a NewsNav compatible. I've had videos on it before, but it's usually doing stuff. So that MySQL load might not be necessarily from ZoneMinder. It might be though. So how I could know is if I did that, and you can see here's my NZB indexer is doing stuff. Sometimes this will just say like waiting. So yeah. So you can see here, these are the processes that are capturing. This 81 is actually that back camera, because this back camera is like a Chinese version that has a newer firmware which supports H.265, and I went ahead and used that because I get a higher quality image. So the only thing is it takes more CPU load, but you can see right now I'm at 0% idle, probably because MySQL is using a lot, because it's doing something, my indexer. So you know, every few minutes or hours, it has to do a bunch of stuff. So it's at 0%, my service is 0% idle right now. But if this wasn't running, or if this was basically idling, this is normally around 60% idle. So with my 4 cameras, it is loading up my system somewhat, but nothing it can't handle. Yeah, you can see MySQL is going off the charts right now, 500%. Which is actually not that bad because it's a Xeon with 4 cores and 8 threads, so 500% is just basically using 5 full threads. So yeah, you can see it's doing stuff. So that's pretty much it there. That's the load of my system. So that's my ZoneMinder setup. It's pretty nice for what I wanted. Still gonna add 1 camera. I think I said it, I'm gonna get like a portable one I can just have around the house, watch the dog. If I ever have kids in the future, I can basically use it as a baby monitor too, just stick it in the room. Just something portable so I have it inside the house, and I just have a long Ethernet that I can move around the house for it. So that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and see you guys later.